The promise. Under the old tree, a quiet town surrounded by golden fields, lived three inseparable friends: Hader, Ali, Anaya, and little Ayat. Hader was a dreamer, always sketching plans for inventions that could change the world. Anaya was a brave one, full of ideas and courage. Ayat, the youngest, had the purest heart and believed every problem could be solved with kindness. Every evening, they met under an old banyan tree at the edge of the town. The tree had witnessed their laughter, arguments, and endless dreams. One summer afternoon, the town faced a problem. The small library, the only place where children could read, learn, and escape into stories, was about to close. The roof leaked, shelves were broken, and there was no money to fix it. Hader looked at the building with worried eyes. If the library closes, where will we go? He whispered. Anaya crossed her arms. We won't let it close. Ayat smiled softly. We can help. At first, the idea seemed impossible. They were just kids. But under the banyan tree, impossible things felt smaller. Hader drew a plan in his notebook, a fundraiser. Anaya suggested a weekend fair with games, art, and food. Ayat had the simplest idea of all. Let's ask people to share stories about why the library matters. The next morning, they started. Hader built small handmade donation boxes using cardboard and bright paint. Anaya went door to door, inviting neighbors to the fair with fearless enthusiasm. Ayat sat with elders, listening to their memory stories of learning to read, finding comfort in books, and dreaming bigger lives. Something beautiful happened. The town began to care again. On the day of the fair, the dusty playground transformed into a place of color and laughter. Children sewed drawings, parents cooked homemade food, and elders told stories on a small stage. Hader nervously presented his speech. This library gave us dreams, he said. Now it needs ours. Anaya organized games that filled the air with cheers. Ayat stood beside a board covered with handwritten notes, hundreds of reasons the library mattered. People stopped. They read. They smiled. Some wiped tears. By sunset, the donation box was heavy. But more important than the money was the feeling. The town remembered that small places can hold big dreams. Weeks later, the library reopened. Fresh paint, repaired shelves, sunlight pouring through clean windows. The three friends stood at the doorway, speechless. Ayat ran inside first. Laughing, Anaya spun around proudly. Hader placed his hand on the doorframe, realizing something important. Dreams weren't only things you imagined, they were things you built together. That evening, they returned to the banyan tree. What's next? Anaya asked. Hader grinned. Bigger dreams. Ayat leaned against the tree, but together, the wind moved through the leaves like a quiet promise. Years later, people would still talk about the summer when three children saved a library. Not because they were powerful, but because they cared enough to try. And under that old tree, Hader, Ali, Anaya, and Ayat learned a lesson they would carry forever. Even the smallest hearts can protect the biggest dreams when they stand side by side.